If you had seen my previous Allen Edmonds strand video where I did the strands and the belt, this is for the same client. This is an Allen Edmonds Leiden. Starting with the acetone. This is a little cotton cloth or a little rag, like a makeup rag. Like a makeup remover pad, I guess you would say. And really, I'm not sure if this was intended to be a walnut shoe, but it was really fairly darkly burnished. It really looks like bourbon. Yeah, quite a bit of color coming off of these. And really it's exposing a much lighter and nicer walnut underneath. So I think once these are cleaned up, they're going to be looking pretty beautiful. And here you can see stripped, not stripped. And really this one, even though it's not stripped, the finish on that toe is pretty strange looking. So that one's going to look quite a bit better when stripped. I'll pause it here, finish both of them, and they'll already be looking better. So this is Fibings light brown. Usually what I like to do, just to get a small amount, really just shake it up. Gets a little bit of dye in the cap, and I can just get a little bit this way. It's a good way to not oversaturate the brush, because you really just want a small amount of dye. It blends better that way, and it's a little bit safer in case you make a mistake. The other thing I like to do is take a little bit, pour just a bit into the cap. And use that. Kind of dip it in there, and then to make sure your brush isn't oversaturated, you can just wipe it on a cloth like this. Adding just a touch outside of just the broguing, so just a little bit along the eyelets. I like to do a little bit at the top of the tongue area. Actually, I'm going to do it at the base of it as well. And then just outside the edge of the broguing, not all the way into these other areas, but just along the edge of the broguing on the weaved part. So basically what I'm doing is having the brush kind of halfway on, halfway off as I do that. I'll just work my way around. Put a little dark accent right about here. Here. Little accent here. Yeah, I think that's starting to look pretty nice there. So I am going to go over everything with Fibing's beige. So this is a nice base color. I like this for redoing walnut. What I'm going to do is just going to start at like one section. So to kind of test this out and make sure that this is going to be the color that I want. So I'll go over this area, let it dry, and see what it looks like afterwards. And it's okay that I'm going over some of these areas that are a little bit darker. It's going to help to blend it a little bit better. So let that sit a minute, let it dry. If that works the way I expect it's going to, I'll go over the entire shoe with that base color beige. Normally I would have done that already. I just thought the base color was going to be fine after I stripped it, but once I started darkening, I wasn't really satisfied. So, yep, I think that's going to work. This is just now a little bit darker compared to this. This is a little bit too yellow, too pale, too blonde. So I'm going to go over the entire shoe with that beige. That's going to work out perfect. So I went over both shoes with the beige, and I'm liking the coloration of this a little bit better now. And again, the goal of all this is to try to match with this belt that I had done previously, which also matched a pair of strands. So I'm thinking this looks pretty good. I think I'm done with the dye work at this point, so now these can just be polished up, and that's going to darken it some just when I rehydrate the leather and polish them up. So we're going to use some Rehydrating over both, and then some cream polish, and then some wax, puts a high shine on it. But looking good so far. I like where it's at. So I've gone over the whole shoe with Saphir Rehydrating. And so what that's going to do is rehydrate the leather, because the stripping process can dry the leather, and even the leather dyes themselves are alcohol based. And so that's going to dry the leather some as well. So rehydrating the leather, and it also, any dye that was not absorbed is going to be sitting on the surface, and so that's going to eliminate the surface dye. So Rehydrating over the entire shoe. Now we're just going to give it a good brushing. Typically I find that gives it a pretty decent soft shine already just by rehydrating and then brushing afterwards. So this is the Saphir Mirror Gloss in neutral. And just looking at doing a light, even coat. It does tend to pull off a little bit of dye, and that's fine. Now once this is totally shined up, you don't really have to worry about it pulling dye off anymore. So it's really just this initial shine. It'll remove a little bit. But once you get the base shine on there, it's going to be pretty stable going forward. And really I tell people, you know, with their Patina shoes, just use Saphir Renovateur, Venetian Shoe Cream, Bic 4, some sort of neutral conditioning lotion, as well as just neutral creams, polishes. If you want to darken a toe more, you can use a dark brown wax just on the toe tip or just on the heel, but really primarily all you need is neutral after that. A little bit of wax in the brogue hole, and that's something that happens sometimes. Just use the horsehair brush here and just kind of get that out of there. I don't go heavy over the entire shoe with the wax, but I'll kind of just go along the sides just one time. Just puts a little extra shine on it. I'm not doing a mirror shine. You don't have to worry about it cracking just on the sides there from that. But on the heel and toe, I'm going to do a full mirror. That you don't want to do all over the shoe. It will crack. These are pretty well complete now. Just putting the last finishing touches on the mirror shine here. So I'm using the Saphir Mirror Gloss in neutral, but I did on the toe tip also use the Mirror Gloss in dark brown, just to give it a little bit more of a burnish. And I'm just using a old cotton t-shirt, a little dab of the Mirror Gloss, a little dab of water. Like I said, we are very, very near complete now.